kick these two off in a 3, 2, 1 Tetris.
I'm looking forward to seeing this match right here. Both these players have really strong pedigrees as well. I mean, DaAsian, if a lot of you remember, actually won the silver bracket a few years ago that we had back when we had the CTWC in Portland. So has experience playing some high-pressure matches.
Yeah, and give me 1 second. I think I need to check a technical thing real quick. You got this for a sec, GD?
Yeah. Okay, Birb's fixing a text solution. I'm going to take over for a minute right here. All right. Looks like we got DMJ and Pixel Andy getting ready, but we're getting technical issues fixed over there before we get them started. All right. DanV getting us started off right here. Only has 1 burn so far as a couple early Tetrises. No burn so far for DaAsian.
Yeah, I forgot it doesn't like transition trainer. So that's why I saw Pixel Andy was playing, and I'm like, why is it not showing it? It doesn't like transition trainer.
No.
Yeah. There
we can't have everything, but still, I mean, the system that we use right here to run this is just phenomenal. To be able the way that it tracks stats and everything, and the way that we can really use it for commentary too. I mean, the technical wizards that we have behind the scene to be able to allow the classic Tetris scene to be as efficient as it is in major competition, my hats go off to everybody, seriously.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's insane. Like, just the amount of work that goes into that.
Yeah, Ego Chip said it best. No burns for DaAsian right as he burns. Commentators' curses are very real in this community. You play enough matches, you know that is not a myth.
Yeah, no kidding. So as again, our players at the top getting warmed up. We'll give them a moment since, they just got here. But, of course, at the bottom right now, it is all eyes on DaAsian and DanV as they are getting kicked off here. Looks like they were off to a pretty good start here, GD.
Very good start. And at the caliber of these players, I'm really not surprised. But as we saw from some of the earlier matches we have, you can't take anything for granted. We did have an 18 top out for a meme in one of the early games.
Oh, and actually, I just realized I need to fix another thing. DanV is not from the U.S. He is from the United Kingdom, right? Let's get that UK flag there. There we go. Yeah.
One of the strongest players from that nation as well, bar none.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Of course, a former Friendlies heavyweight champ, right? Held that title for a while before losing it to SV. And certainly, he a lot of different accolades as well. But more than I could even think of off the top of my head right now. That's just how many there are, right?
And I also have many memories of playing against a tired DanV when he was up at about 2 in the morning on some early Friendlies matches about 3 or 4 years ago when DanV was still coming up through the ranks. Those are some fun memories. Not so fun whenever DanV was not tired and demolished me, but still fun whenever DanV was tired and I got to sneak a couple games off him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was where he was. Yeah, like you said, he was still honing his craft. Once he got there, I mean, he's been tough to beat. He's been very tough to beat.
Now, honestly, an amazing player to watch because DanV, I think, has one of the most complete balanced games of all the players that we have at the top level. A player that's not really uber aggressive, but not uber safe either. Just very well-rounded. Knows when to turn up the aggression and knows when to dial it down as well. A player that you definitely don't want to get into a close match with because DanV really knows how to adjust to the RNG, adjust to the board, and is somebody that really also knows how to bring it home in a close one too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's and that's a sign of a top player, right? Just knowing how to, being able to handle the pressure and just being able to just, dial in, do what you have to do, whether it's, even if it's ugly, right? Do what you have to do and just get the job done.
And even DJ Mr. Burrow in the chat, DanV's adjustments are so good as well. That's what I've meant about the balance.
Yeah. Oh, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't really have much of a choice but to tuck that O up on the top. Luckily, I think that L tuck will be real nice.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
Perfect. Yeah.
That might have been by design, honestly. I don't think there was much of a choice. 450 now DanV, 367 for DaAsian. So pretty sizable lead right now. Just hit the 100 line turn, so about 30 lines left to go before we hit 19. Hey, Chen's asking me how I'm doing. I am doing AWESOME on this awesome Saturday. You know it.
Yeah, it's been a pretty fun day, honestly. It's been fun just watching all. I mean, even the early rounds were pretty fun to watch too, man. My goodness.
No, really, even the ones that were off stream. I mean, there were a couple ones that I was doing some ad hoc commentary even without a microphone, just trying to keep the energy flowing over there. Everybody loved it.
Yeah, no, it's not like there's some crazy things going on over there. I didn't get a chance to catch that, but yeah, no, I heard you freaking out about something or another.
Oh yeah, the match that I played a match against MLG Captain Virgil. I ended up losing 2-0 in the best of 3, but both games were separated by about 2,000 points. We had a simul top out in one game, and then a barely made chase down in the other. I could have easily been 2-0 the other way. It was that close. That being said, I want another rematch on friendlies with Virgil. It was so close in that one.
Oh, yeah, maybe play him later tonight before you head out.
I might.
Yeah.
Okay, DanV was getting up a little bit high there. Still has a lead right now over at DaAsian. Another Tetris going down. Goes into transition, 597. Another Tetris there, 621. DaAsian, however, still has one more Tetris before we get to transition. Is behind by almost 150,000 points.
Yeah, that's definitely not insurmountable, but certainly not where you want to be at this point in the game. Of course, we do still have the level 29, and, DaAsian certainly has some of that as well. I mean, everybody at this point, right? I mean, you're kind of how do you make top 16 in this freaking bracket without 29, right?
If you would have looked at some of the quals, honestly, I think the entire top 16 had quals of like 1.3, 1.4 or higher.
Yeah, that's just insane.
Really, when I looked at the qual sheet before I came in and saw that my 700K range qual was in last place out of 20 people, I'm like, what Twilight Zone am I living in right here? I don't know. Whatever it was a crazy one, but I love being in it because it shows how much his community has grown.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you said it earlier, right? Like, that would have been enough for, like, top 8 before, about 4 years ago, But
I know. 763 now for Dan, 615 DaAsian. DaAsian scores a Tetris. DaAsian's board is clean. Dan has a slight little bit of burning to do, but it's nothing that's really going to hurt the pace too much. DaAsian scores again, 671. 796 for Dan. So lead is still about 120,000 plus. Both players clean now. Tetris Dan, 826. Tetris DaAsian, 701. That was a good spin right there for DaAsian to keep the board clean, but at this point, DaAsian really has no choice but to try and send it against Dan, because Dan is not really making any mistakes right now. But as I said, the Lombard dependency form, it did end up getting that bar. Oh, Lombard dependency for Dan. Just going to plug it there. I'm not going to try and get too cute with it.
Yeah, it's certainly, I mean, if you're DaAsian, I mean, this is a pretty solid base, right? Certainly, as we're going to 29 at these next few levels here, certainly at 800K at 24, that's not anything to scoff at here. But I mean, Dan just having himself a really good game right now. He's on fire.
It's a little bit of an O sequence there for Dan, but Dan worked through it pretty well. It's 929,000 for Dan, 796 to DaAsian. Oh, DaAsian's in trouble. DaAsian got that over and still getting it over. And the well is open. Staying alive right there. DaAsian, no fear. And look at the score. It's under 100,000 point lead right now during that sequence. DaAsian is still very much in this.
Man, yeah, that was a really clutch long bar there that came in just in time. Kind of a bailout, but, sometimes you got to take those. Yeah.
Hey, famous words of every Tetris player we take those.
Yeah.
Those exact 3 words. I say them all the time. We don't care. Sometimes better be lucky than good.
Yeah, but of course, did have to have the skill to be able to just whip that thing over to the right, so it worked out.
No matter which way you cut it, you can't be just lucky to get this far. You have to be good, too.
Yeah, and here we go. Dan right now, we're on level 28. We're at 1.1 million on his side. 980 the score for DaAsian.
1.1 for DaAsian, 986 right now for DaAsian. Almost screwed that up for a second. So used to saying sodium in the last round. I'll own that one. Okay, 989 DaAsian, 1.162 for Dan. Still getting a set up right now. Dan is still staying aggressive here and gets a Tetris, 1.208. DaAsian, 1.03. Tetris, 1.075. DaAsian, level 30, level 31 currently. For Dan. Oh, Dan! Oh, he gets a Tetris, though. It's going to make it harder on DaAsian. I don't know if Dan's going to be able to get out of this.
No,
the extra Tetris could play a factor. 160,000 point chase down needed for DaAsian right now. Your target is 1.250. 1.250 is DaAsian's target to take game number 1.
Yeah, this is almost reminiscent of the early top out not early, I guess, but early 29 top out we saw from Meme in that one game where Sodium at over a 200,000 point chase down wasn't able to get it, but he did end up taking a game later, which ended up working out. But so DaAsian, again, he's got about 138,000 points to chase now, and he's got a few levels left.
Unfortunately, it's not in the range to just line it out. Probably going to need at least 2 Tetrises.
Yeah, he definitely, he's got to just take the ones that the game gives him.
Oh, I don't know if that's going to be problematic or not.
Can he get anything
Gets
over?
it over, though. Still has time to wait to score. Going to need Tetrises, but doesn't need them right now. Oh, no!
Ooh.
That hang might do it. Still burning, still burning. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get it over. It is not going to be enough to get it over. DanV takes game number one.
Nice. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Tetris. All right, and of course, this is game one up at the top. It is DMJ. He is the 20th, right? 20th seed? Yeah, 20th seed here. Making it getting the upset over Ramations, right, in the second round. So now finds himself up against one of the RTI guys, Pixel Andy, a world finalist back in 2020. That is his most notable achievement. Of course, a various number of accolades that we could get into as well, but certainly a very strong player that he's got to go up against now. Most importantly, the number 4 seed in this tournament.
Another thing I want to point out about Pixel Andy is not only is Pixel Andy one of the strongest rollers in the community. Oh no! DMJ, whoa, DaAsian on the bottom. Oh, wow. Right as I was saying that, DaAsian got into a serious 18.5 B-type height dig. Oh, no! DanV takes it already on the bottom. 2-0.
Man, that is not what you want to see when you're already down 1. He can't believe it.
Got to shake that one off. Have to shake that one off. Still got 3 games in a row to win, but still alive.
Yeah, meanwhile, our heroes are going to carry out up at the top as well. We're about 25 lines through. It is DMJ with the early lead by about a Tetris.
All right, let's get ready for our bottom players. Get game number 3 going.
All right, we are good to go. So we'll count them down in 3, 2, 1. Tetris.
So as I was saying before that top out happened, not only is Pixel Andy one of the best rollers in the community and a player that's always been on the cusp of winning the World Championship, Pixel Andy is one of, if not the best DAS players in the entire world as far as consistency with the style, just high scores with the style, everything you can think of, just an absolute dynamite DAS player. And I believe Pixel Andy years ago, before even getting into tapping, started out as a DAS player before becoming a tapper, then eventually a roller. So Pixel Andy is just fluid in multiple different styles. And a lot of times, people underestimate the stacking limitations you have with DAS mentally prepare you to be a much better stacker as a roller as well. And that does nothing but help Pixel Andy.
Yeah, and I mean, in Pixel Andy's case, right, as mentioned, he did start out as a DAS player, and, he switched because he wanted to beat his brother. He couldn't beat Dog because he was starting to tap and, and then later get into rolling and all of that, of course. But, yeah, he switched to tap so he could actually, keep up with his brother because he knew, okay, I'm going to have to be able to do this to be able to keep up,
It's just remarkable, honestly, just how Andy has remained at the top of the game with every play style. Most players are generally only good with 1, maybe 2 at the most play styles. I can count on the fingers of one hand the number of players I know can legit do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's in rare territory for sure.
Okay, one thing right now that we do have to say is rare territory is a little bit of a dig situation that DaAsian was in, but DaAsian did manage to get out of it, 109. DanV's going to score another Tetris on the bottom. DanV now at 154.
Yeah, so it is exactly a 1 Tetris lead for Dan on the bottom. Meanwhile, at the top, we're about 75 lines through. It is DMJ still hanging on to a lead in spite of these little chasms he's got going on in his stack. He's up by about 40,000.
Still close for the most part. Another score, though, for DanV. DanV already has the 2-0 lead, so can't afford to give some leeway here. But as we saw DaAsian playing earlier and how proficient DaAsian is on the top speeds, we can't get into a situation where DanV just plays conservative and just takes his foot off the gas. He needs to finish DaAsian off very quickly because DaAsian is a player that will and has in the past seized on momentum when it's come.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, like I said, all 4 of these players, really, right?
Oh, misdrop right as I was saying that for Dan. Misdrop. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
This is not very nice right now here. Oh, Burns right. Oh, that was really close right there. Adjustment. We both saw that together. That was a sick right there. I mean, seriously, that was an no. Right as I said that was, no. This is what we get for saying nice things, going to happen right now. Wait. Are you serious right now? Is Dan getting out of this? Is Dan freaking getting out of this? Are you kidding me? Did DanV just get out of that?
No.
Oh,
no. Was the answer to that. Oh, my God. DaAsian's going to take it, and it is now 2-1. Oh, man.
But as I said, it ain't over despite being 2-0. It's 2-1 right now. DanV still got the lead, but now we got a set here.
And meanwhile, at the top, GD, we're getting ready to transition. And as a reminder, this is still game number 1 at the top. Oh, my God. So it is about a 40,000-point lead. It is DMJ that lead has not changed in quite some time. As our players at the bottom are ready to go. GD, why don't you count them down here?
Let's do it right now. 2-1 on the bottom, and game number 4 is coming to your door. Count it down in 3, 2, 1. Tetris.
All right.
Yeah, we see the link right there to add to the prize pool at the Match Arena. We got a pretty good prize pool building up right now. $169 and counting. As we mentioned before, every dollar of this is all going back. I didn't even see the other part. 169.69, you know it. But the important thing, as we were mentioning before, is every dollar of this is all paid back to the players, and they all earn this money for their amazing play and as well as their graciousness traveling out here to this regional.
Yeah.
Anything you guys can put in here is beyond well appreciated. Hope we can get this all juiced up.
Yeah, and of course, do want to shout out Rogue Potato for making, for donating or contributing the exact amount of 1694 that got us to 169.69. So.
Yeah, I didn't see the cent part because I was looking away. That's pretty far on the system. You're sitting a little bit closer than I am, Birb.
That I am. But, of course, we're sitting closer to that 29 at the top as we are at level 21 here for our players. It is less than a Tetris the difference right now. It is still DMJ just trying his best to hang on to this lead here.
684 to 665. A little less than a Tetris lead here. DMJ trying to stay aggressive. Is Tetris ready? Gonna get a Tetris there. DMJ 718. Andy scores again 719. 652 points separating the players now. And both players one line separated as well. You could not be more neck and neck in this between these two stars.
Yeah, it is harder.
O-burst. That was a rough O-burst for DMJ. The O-burst is coming for Andy. Andy's board was way better equipped to handle it. This could be Andy's chance to try and open up a lead.
Oh, my word. DMJ is struggling right now. That Z barely gets over that left side.
Andy is clean. Another Tetris Andy. 53,000-point lead now. Full survival mode here for DMJ could not flip it. Could not flip that. This is really bad. Really nice long bar flat.
Yeah, there's that L piece was beautiful.
Another flat here. Nice placement. Nice placement. Oh, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. I don't know if we're going to be able to get anything else over that right side. Not able to get it over. Andy's going to take the game on top, 844.
Yeah, he built up over a 100,000-point lead in the midst of all that. That is just crazy efficiency.
Okay, bottom row, we're still pretty close right now. It is a 2-1 lead for DanV on the bottom. 259 DanV, 238 for DaAsian. And we're separated by just one burn on the bottom right now with another Tetris for DaAsian. All right, our players on the top ready. Give me thumbs up.
Yeah, as they're getting squared away here. Yeah, meanwhile, at the bottom, we are still about halfway to the transition here. They're neck and neck. They're doing their thing. Dan with some burns.
Anytime we don't have much to say at an 18 game, you know the players are doing well.
Yeah.
And at this caliber of player, that's what we want. We want to see the high levels.
Yeah, it gives us a chance to talk about, other things, too. Kind of like the histories and everything, right? Certainly, DanV's first appearance here at the WPL Championship, as you might expect, is a little bit of a hike for him. And meanwhile, conversely, DaAsian has been here, I think every time. No? Am I?
I think maybe the first time not, but I know at least 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah. As they are ready at the top, GD, so let's count them down. Game number 2, we're going to continue on in a 3, 2, 1, Tetris.
Oh, a little bit of a flip it. Oh, nice double tuck for DanV with that O. Oh, wow. Do you see DanV solve on that?
Yeah, that was insane.
Now, those double tucks are always tough to, even with rollers. I mean, you have to be so precise at the exact moment with the exact speed to be able to hit a double tuck. And if you miss the double tuck, your board goes into absolute chaos.
Yeah, I mean, you only really have, on the 18 speed even, you only really have a couple frames to be able to get that to happen. So, yeah, it's, they make it look easy. As I said about 29 earlier, right? They made that look very easy, even though it is definitely not.
I mean, especially when you see some of the very elite players getting like 2,000 or 3,000 lines on that speed, trying to get crashes or get rebirths. You don't understand just how hard that is until you see players at these levels struggle when they're like 30, 40, 50 lines in trying to go aggressively at it. And even when they're trying to line it out, one mistake at that speed, you're pretty much dead. And to see players go thousands of lines on that speed, even when the colors start getting really dark and changing, it's hard to put into words just how much skill you need to be able to do that. It's comparable, honestly, to a 2,700 or 2,800 ELO rated chess grandmaster going up against a 2,500 rated chess grandmaster. It's completely different night and day.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah, and right now, speaking of night and day, you know, you got this game is on the bottom is night and day from the last one where we saw some early top outs going on, and right now they are fast approaching that 19 transition as DaAsian's just finding himself in some burn sequences here. This is not the board he's looking for. He hasn't really been able to utilize these long bars that Dan has been able to utilize, but there we go. Tetris DaAsian, he'll go to 491, 558 for DanV.
Getting really close on the bottom. Top, we got a little bit of a dig situation now for Andy. Nothing dangerous, but it will hurt the pace a little bit. Is behind by about 2 Tetrises against DMJ.
Yeah, so they'll keep carrying on up at the top. They're playing some pretty efficient games here. As DanV, oh my goodness, all the D names, man, that's throwing me off. DanV at the bottom of his transition. He's at level 20, 633, 560 the score for DaAsian. So he's on his last life here. He needs this to stay in it.
But sometimes when you're in your last life, the desperation comes in and then brings you to another level. You never know.
Yeah, certainly. So let's see. They're going to keep racing along here. We got, you know, and we saw that DaAsian did have an opportunity, I believe it was the first game, second game? I don't remember. But something like an earlier game, he had an opportunity to potentially chase down DanV. And actually, no, it was game number 1 where he, you know, he just wasn't able to quite get it. He kind of had some misdrops level like 33, 34 range, and unfortunately just wasn't able to complete it. So certainly you can see he does have the capability to make some 29 magic happen.
Anything can happen in this format, though. Oh, neither. You see that adjustment with that long bar?
Wow.
That was last second right there. Honestly, I was originally thinking that I was going to go left with that, and then I'm creating another dependency. Being able to see that at the last second and not create the dependency, absolute pro move there.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Tetris DaAsian. He'll go to 700,000, 785 for DanV, who is ahead in the line count as well. He was the first player to make it the transition out of the 2. So certainly, you know, the lead not as provided DaAsian can utilize the extra lines he has in hand, and not as large a lead as it appears.
DaAsian is against the wall right now, and actually is in a little bit of a dig sequence. Couple burns should be able to fix it, though. Nice O to be able to save it. Looks like DaAsian's okay, but is behind almost 140,000 points here. At this point, close to about halfway through the post-transition speed, so not a lot of time to work with before we get to the 29 speeds, where, as we know, everything just gets insane with the speed on that one. And you make one mistake on that speed, you're done. So you do not want to be behind 6 digits if you can avoid it going into that, especially when you're already down 2-1 in the set.
Yeah, I mean, right now, DaAsian just doing what he's got to do. These pieces just not cooperating right now. He's got a clean board. He's trying to, he's getting a bit of a drought here that Dan ran into earlier. There we go. Tetris DaAsian. He'll go to 834 now. He is within 100,000 points in the real-time score. And again, you know, as mentioned, has a few extra lines in hand that Dan does not as we get to level 29 and even level 39 speed. So, again, could come into play. Again, this in the grand scheme of things, this is a pretty close score.
Unfortunately, was not able to take advantage was Dan for a couple of the pieces we had, but it's still a relatively sizable. A couple of dependencies forming here for Dan, though. Not plugging. Oh, had to plug it there. Finally ends up getting the J to fill it. He gets the max out, 1.05, 964 for DaAsian. DaAsian scores 998, neck and neck. Nice tuck of that T. That was roll. Uh-oh. That little bit of a misdrop right there. Not getting the pieces, not getting the pieces. Go, gets it down! Gets it down. Another Tetris going down there for DanV. 75,000 point lead, but 29 is coming, and the board is not clean for Dan. Needs a couple really
nice
good burns.
Burn.
Uh-oh. Needs something for that left side. Did not go with the J. I might have went for that J right there. Oh, that hangs that bar, and that's going to be it for DanV. 1.085. DaAsian has a chase down to force a decider. 1.086 is DaAsian's chase down score. Yeah, 1.086 is a target. Goes into 29. Uh-oh. That was not a clean transition right there. Gets set up. Selling out, though. DaAsian selling out and not getting, but gets the bar. Still needs 27,000. Not getting it. No!
Not going to happen.
DaAsian does not get it, and DanV's moving on to the top 8.
Wow, nicely done. And, of course, as they are getting their way off stage, we're going to keep moving right along here as we got – oh, whoops, that's not the right one. Here we go. That was a 1, and then that was a 3. So we'll get that reported in there. And, of course, meanwhile, at the top, we have transition in game number 2. Pixel Andy with a 1-game lead over DMJ. And as they are continuing on here, DMJ does have the 35,000-point lead in the game. But as that carries on, we do want to call up our next matches. We'll focus on our bottom match for now, but let's call up our next one here, Tristop and Rhubarb. If we can get them up to the stage, please, Tristop and Rhubarb.
This is going to be a really good one. Tristop has just been on the cusp almost every year at the CTWC and always looks like a player that could win it all almost every time.
Oh, where's the...
Definitely want to watch for Tristop to try and make a deep run in this tournament, too.
All right, so you're carrying on level 23, and we're going to actually fix this now. The thing is being not very nice to me. All right. There we go. All right. That is what I was trying to do that entire time. So there we go. All right, so 821 here for Pixel Andy, 863 for DMJ at a Tetris 893. So he's enjoying about a Tetris and half the difference right now.
Still pretty close here. There's another Tetris going in for DMJ. DMJ 924, Andy 851. It is a 1-0 lead for Pixel Andy right now, so Pixel Andy does have the edge, looking to go up 2-0 and put a hammerlock on this set.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to gain some momentum here in this one. That's what you want. Again, this is top 16. You know, he's...
that was interesting to see how DMJ was going to play that piece. It wasn't the best. Oh, I might have gone to the side 8-9. Oh, actually, DMJ knows better than I do. I was going to go to the side and take that burn with the 8-9-10.
Yeah, no,
DMJ stacking a little bit. Ends up taking the double there anyway. Uh-oh. Needs bailed right here. Needs bailed. This is not the situation for DMJ. Got the O to the left. O's going to the left. It's looking pretty good. Dig it down. Nice to be able to get that filled back in. Still has dependencies here. Needs to plug both of them. There we go. Okay, the safe move right there. Make the safe move. Still need to get that middle filled in. Unfortunately, not able to do it with that piece. There's another burn right there. We are neck and neck, though. 6,000 points separating the two players. Both players level 27.
Yeah, it is coming down to the wire. We're approaching level 29. DMJ just fighting for his life here up at the top shelf.
Uh-oh, DMJ. This is not the height you want to be at. DMJ has to get this down before 29, or DMJ is really cooked. Getting the burns. 3 lines left to go. This is a very dangerous height.
Yeah, you can
burns,
see
burns. Oh, it's too low. And that is going to be a 2-0 lead for Pixel Andy, taking the game 1.089.
In a 3, 2, 1, Tetris. All right, as we are underway here, it is, DMJ's been having himself a pretty good set in spite of being down 2-0. I mean, he's been playing some good Tetris. Andy's just that good.
There's no other way to really put it. I mean, Pixel Andy is one of the top players in all of Tetris. It has been for 5+ years for a reason. You don't get as highly ranked as Andy does and win all the competitions he does and be knocking on the door of CTWC Gold for nothing. I mean, Pixel Andy, at any time, I feel could legit win a world championship. And really, to be honest, is probably at the top of most deserving players that have never won it so far. That probably should win it. If anybody can name another name other than that, except maybe Tristop is going to be playing in a match coming up, I'd like to hear it. Andy's right up there in the conversation all the time. I mean,
Kitaru?
Hey, and Dash, you never know.
Yeah.
It's always nice to see Kitaru, especially when I've gone to some of the competitions.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's a chill guy. He's an interesting person to talk to, I think. Yeah. And I don't mean that like, interesting, like bad. Like, no, interesting, like genuinely interesting,
No, Ray, he was one of my inspirations when I first started playing. I started playing back in 2019, way back in what we call the DAS era. Even though tapping was starting, I don't really feel like the true non-DAS era of the modern era really began until probably about 2020 when we did the competitions online. Even in 2019, whenever some of the top tappers like Corian and Joseph were there, DAS was still a very viable style at the hot top levels.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you had players like Batfoy, and like Matt Martin making it in the top 8, and actually Batfoy even further than that, right? But, certainly, yeah, there was definitely still a lot of DAS talent at the top.
And the amazing thing that I love about the last couple years of the community is DAS has actually made a comeback as its own scene, and it brings a whole different level of energy to the matches because the old way of knowing that 29 is the end and you have limits of what you can do on 19, it brings something to the matches that just adds something fresh for Tetris to give you a break from all the high-level rolling in 29s that we have. I liken it honestly to like Tetris courts. Or like tennis courts. You might have your clay court season, your hard court season, your grass court season. You have to play completely differently on all those surfaces. It's the same way with Tetris where you have your tap season, your dash season, and your rolling season. It adds something to the scene where there's so many different ways to play it. It's only going to help the scene grow that much more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that was a good move to do that, and I think a lot of those tournaments have been really fun too. The DAS tournaments to watch, like the DAS Masters events, and of course the tournament we just had out in Germany, right? We had in Germany recently, so. Yeah, and the upcoming Jonas Cup. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I am excited to go to that.
Me too. This will be my first year going to the Jonas Cup as well. I've had it marked on my calendar as a real bucket list item to go to it. Just for the camaraderie of it as well, and honestly, to try and make the bracket and compete and do well too. But just the atmosphere of just bringing back the feel of the old CTWCs while the community is still continuing to push forward as it has into the modern era with all our young players. You can't beat it. The sky's the limit for Tetris in general in the 2025 and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, the sky's the limit for these two as well, as we got about a half a Tetris difference here. It is DMJ with the 18,000-point lead, 395 to 376. A Tetris for DMJ will expand the lead. But, yeah, very, very, and honestly, actually, this is a kind of some good paces to watch here as well. I mean, DMJ in particular has on a near 90% rate here through 85 lines. I mean, he is barely burned at all.
That's what DMJ has to do. Honestly, when your back's against the wall, sometimes you might think there's different strategies to take, but against a player like Andy, you can't sit back and just wait for Andy to make a mistake. You have to send it. You have to go after him with offense. You can't play defense against a player of Andy's caliber. Some players you might be able to do that, but definitely not here. DMJ knows what he has to do and is unquestionably doing it.
Yeah, and look at this. 5:32 here with 30 lines left to go to the transition. Keep an eye on this. This is about to be a really hot transition here.
I wouldn't be surprised this approaches somewhere near 700 with this rate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's off the table here. I mean, we'll have to see. Again, he's got 25 lines left to go. Pixel Andy at 495. So, again, a very good score at this phase from Pixel Andy as well. But DMJ is just, he's on fire right now.
Seriously, in most games, a transition to this pace, you'd be like, okay, I'm at least right there with my opponent, if not crushing them. To be 80,000 points down despite that pace is a testament just to how insane DMJ is playing right here. DMJ knows his back's against the wall, and DMJ knows what he has to do to try and get back in this to put the pressure on Andy.
Yeah, he's doing what he has to. Although, okay, now has to burn a little bit because he knows that bar ain't coming. He's got about 15 lines left. And, oh, man, this bar is still not coming.
Oh, setting it. Look at that setup, the
Wow.
T-spin for DMJ. I saw that a couple moves in advance. That was insane to have the vision to see that. And still this pace right here, 635. Another Tetris is going to be going in at almost 660.
Yeah, very hot game here.
Oh, double dependency forming for DMJ. I saw DMJ had a little bit of a head shake.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a little bit. DMJ's first dig is a bad time to get it. Andy's only 50,000 points back now. And Andy's going to try and capitalize on this during this sequence here. Let's see how DMJ tries to get out of this. DMJ has a couple options. If DMJ can try and go for really high dirty Tetrises or just sacrifice about 10 lines of burning and just get it back down. I'm curious to see what approach DMJ goes here.
Yeah, right now just drilling this all the way back down. He's still got about a 50,000 point real-time lead, but Pixel Andy is hot on the heels, GD. He is. And look at that.
51 points! Anybody that says push down points don't matter, they're the testament right there that they do. 51 points.
Oh, my word. Yeah, it's about as close as you can get. That's about as close as you can get without being literally tied.
But seriously, look how far ahead DMJ was. Almost 80,000 points. And that one dig sequence, Andy took maximum advantage to get right back in this to make it near neck and neck. Like I said, you cannot give an inch to a player like Pixel Andy. And that proves it right there.
Yeah,
51 points again. And there's another Tetris. Andy's got the lead. 80,000 points down. Andy has stormed all the way back to take the lead. Up 2-0 on match point right here to go to the top 8. Andy sees blood. Andy is hungry right now. I mean hungry.
Yeah, here we go. DMJ is just fighting for his life. Gets the Tetris. And we'll take the lead again momentarily. This one's looking like it might end up coming down to the wire here. I mean, they all have, but, this one, no exception.
Neck and neck right here. Look at this. 10,000 points separating them. The lead changes everywhere. Another lead change. 15,000 points separating the players. And now Andy has the lead, but DMJ is clean and ready to score. Takes another burn to go safe. 13,000 points back. Both players waiting for a bar here. There's the bar. DMJ retakes the lead, but clean is Pixel Andy waiting to try and take it right back. Neck and neck right here. That's what we want to see. Boom, there's another Tetris there. 8,000 point lead for DMJ. But Handy, just boom, lead change again right there. This is so close. Andy, 22,000 points now. And Tetris ready again. DMJ is not Tetris ready. DMJ has to do a little bit of building to get back in this, but DMJ does have about a 10,000 point lead.
Yeah, it is coming down to the wire. Level 29 is approaching. Just a couple levels left to go.
Nice adjustment there for DMJ to be able to keep this going. There's another burn, another Tetris for Andy. Andy only behind by 6,000 now. 967 to 964.
Oh, my God. That was the score difference for a moment there.
Big time. Andy is set up and close. Oh, Andy had a little bit of it. Oh, nice long bar flat to save that. That was a great save from Andy. That could have got really ugly if Andy didn't see the long bar flat adjustment. DMJ still clean. Andy's ahead by 24,000.
Yeah, we got the double max out as signified.
Oh, no! Oh, DMJ with the hang! DMJ with the hang. Bar is coming down. Gonna have to do a couple really good innovative burns right here to stay in this. DMJ, careful. Gets another bar down, but only 8 lines left to go before 29.
This is exactly
not the height you want.
Uh-oh. There's a bug in my face.
There's a bar. Only 3 lines left to go for Andy, and that right side is not looking good. Center well, get that down. Go, come on. Andy, well, DMJ might get out of this. DMJ's almost out of it. Get the bar over right there. Oh, it's a miss drop. And that's going to be it. Pixel Andy with the 3-0 sweep. Get out the broom. You're moving on.